this pen comes in this box. Sorry, this pen, I forgot to put it in the box. It's right there. Anyway, it's a beautiful pen. I was chatting with David, Figboot, and he was talking about pens he was about to launch, and he said, well, I have this. Would you want one? It's coming out soon. And I said, why not? And so he sent me one, which is incredibly kind. And I believe they're sold out at this point already, so don't consider this marketing, but I do really enjoy the pen. So, very kind thank you to David. But secondly, I'll cover the parts of the pen, I'll do a writing sample, I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. Very interesting collaboration, Gravitas, Ben Walsh, Figboot, I like it. So let's see what this pen is all about. Okay, so let's have a look at this Gravitas Bifrost. It's called the Bifrost, which is, it's Norse mythology, isn't it? The rainbow bridge between the realm of humans, Midgard, and the realm of the gods, Asgard, what is it? Midgard, Asgard. I'm not a mythologist. Now, made by Ben Walsh and his team of Gravitas pens. I'm just going to sneak that out there. Very interesting pen. Clipless. That's not for everyone. I didn't really point that out in likes and dislikes because it's kind of a personal thing. But I mean, if clipless pens are not your thing, obviously this is not for you. Here we see this pen right next to a Pilot Metropolitan. So a fairly large pen, definitely quite girthy, but I found it really nicely balanced and proportional. I'll show you that when I write with it. Okay, frosted polycarbonate. You can see it's translucent. Here we have the section and nib. And here we have the converter. Yes, you can see the ink level through the material, especially if you hold it up to the light. It's really quite clear. It's a little hard to demonstrate here, but take my word for it. And then we have PVD accents, rainbow colored, which some people absolutely love that. I have always enjoyed it. I'm not sure if I'm an enormous fan, but in this pen it really works, especially given that rainbow bridge theme. It's well picked. Limited edition, 200 pens. I believe they're all sold out. I'm sorry I'm late to the party, but I didn't want to review this before David announced them because obviously that's weird. Heavier, it's not a super heavy pen, but a lot of the weight is in the section. The whole thing weighs 36 grams and the barrel 30 grams, so you can kind of see where that weight is. I'll show you that in just a second. And the price of these was $129, which I think is very fair for what you get. So let's cover the parts of the pen. The finial on top here is that sort of rainbow material. You really need to move it around a bit to see that, but it's really quite nice. We have a sort of a torpedo-shaped pen. I really quite like it. Straight, and then goes into a point again on the other end, so this would be the barrel end. Same rainbow PVD. Pen unscrews, and then we have a large section which is ribbed with a number 6 nib with the Gravitas logo. Note that the section and nib also have that rainbow finish. It does look quite nice. I think it's a very neat, slick look. The section tapers down, flares out a little bit. I find that very pleasant. It's a larger pen, does not post, I'll come back to that. But a larger pen without being obscenely large is, I think, a size that fits comfortably for a lot of people. So it's really quite nice. We have some threads here in the polycarbonate, and then we have a bit of a step down. It may look bigger on camera than it really is. It's also nicely done, so it's not at all sharp, that step down. If anything, you feel the ridge between the section and these threads a little bit, but that too, it's not sharp at all. I think it is really nicely done. These are, I believe they came in extra fine, fine, medium, broad. I think there was also a flex nib option available. I just asked David for a broad. Then we have the converter, and fun thing about the converter is the metal piece in the converter also has the rainbow finish. From this angle it looks like it's just chrome, but it's really not. You see that? See that change? It goes from sort of a chrome color to almost a gold color. Really quite nice, a really consistent theme. And I really enjoy that. For the people who are now wondering, can you eyedropper this? I wouldn't do it. The section is metal, and also it looks like down there is a sort of connecting point. I'm great at technical terms, but for this metal piece, so I fear there might be a leak there. You can see some threads down there. I think I just would not. Again, you also have this metal section to deal with, so I just would not do it. Okay, so great size, very front heavy, obviously, because you have the polycarbonate. Yes, there is a little bit of PVD there at the end, but obviously the weight of this thing does not outweigh the weight of this thing, which is all metal. So you really have a natural balance where I can put it on my finger. Very dangerous what I'm doing here, but you can see where that balance is. You can see how much heavier the section is than the rest of the barrel. But because that's the area that goes towards the paper, it works very well. And I found this to be a very comfortable pen for longer writing sessions. It's not so heavy that it'll fatigue your hand, but it has that nice weight to it exactly where you want it, which I think is really quite nice. Let's do a bit of writing and see what we can do. We have here, it's like it says Figloot. I'm sorry, David. Gravitas Bifrost in broad with Waterman purple. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking Asgard. No, sorry, Osgard. God, I can't even get it right. Osgard. I think the thing is on the A, isn't it? It's not there. It's on the. It's there. Anyway, someone will correct me. The quick brown fox ran past the god across. The Bifrost. I'm sorry. I also now saying it like it says beef roast. Bifrost. That's not what it, anyway. Bit of fast writing. Feed keeps up really nicely. I really have had a very pleasant writing experience. Not too wet, not too dry, very nicely tuned. And again, the nib itself, it just doesn't really skip. You notice it was a bit of a hard start there, but that's just because I was waving it around. Again, not too wet, not too dry, really nice, sort of in the middle. Natural line variation. This is without pressure. You see there is a little bit of a stubbiness to that nib in that it has broader downstrokes to narrower side strokes. I'm not bothered in any way, I'm just saying. I also note this is Rhodia paper. I note that the line looks a little thinner on this. I was using this paper. This is just one of the notebooks that Joost Appelboom gave out or gives out. The writing looks a bit wider on this to me. So it's interesting, obviously same pen, same ink. Reverse writing works very well and definitely takes this broader nib to a finer range, and it's not scratchy at all. So if you really like that, that's a thing you can do. I also forgot the line variation. Again, it's not a flex nib. It was available with a flex nib. If you want to flex it, you should buy the flex nib. But there you have it. There's probably a little bit of line variation you can squeeze out. And that is all there's to it. So let's discuss some likes and dislikes. What do I like and what do I not like about the Bifrost? There are a couple of things I really like. When you get a pen made by Gravitas, in my experience, and I know there is always someone who's had a different experience, but in my experience, you get a very well-made pen. I have tried a couple of men's pens, and invariably great products, really well made, really good eye for detail, really well crafted, really well thought through. So this pen in my mind is no different. I really like the looks. I think it's also a great theme, rainbow bridge, cold stuff. It's all in there, right? You have the sort of frosted material, you have that rainbow finish, which I think is really attractive. I know that some people really collect these kinds of burnt metal sort of rainbow finishes. I don't, but I will say I see the appeal. It's very well made. I really like that this section, as with many sections made by Gravitas, has some texture to it, very pleasant to hold, and a very comfortable section, large enough to be used by people with bigger hands, which I certainly appreciate. Very pleasant size, very nicely made, and I think this works for a lot of people. Even if you do have smaller hands, because of the way it's tapered, I think you'll find it quite comfortable. Nice number 6 nib. Writes incredibly well. I don't know if these got tuned before they left, but really, really pleasant writer. I've had not a single issue, no hard starts, no skips, nothing. So really impressive. And at the end of the day, that's what you buy a pen for. The price, again, I believe these are sold out now. So I'm sorry, I'm a bit late to the party, or as we say in Dutch, mustard after the meal. But having said that, I think the price is fair for what you get. Yes, it's a steel nib, yes, but this is also, these are pens that are not sort of churned out by a machine by 5,000 a day. You do get something made kind of with personal attention to it. Everything works. Nothing is too sharp. It's just really nicely made. So I think that price is warranted. In fact, I think it's really fairly priced for the quality of pen that you get. Anything I don't like about it, there's one thing, and it's just a preference matter. I see this and I see the shape and then I kind of want to post it. But much like with, say, an Old Wind Classic, which has a similar shape, it's just not possible. I mean, you can sort of jam the cap on the back, but it's not really going to stay. And it also, you see how huge it is. It just doesn't work. It's not a big deal. It's by far big enough to use unposted. So it's just a thing. I see it and every time I think, yeah, that looks really comfortable were it posted, but you just can't. That's it. It's not an issue. So that's what I have. I'm just in case someone has this idea. I'm not trying to be nice because it's Figboot's pen. I would be not nice were there anything to complain about. But given the pen maker and his constantly high quality work, there isn't much to complain on my end. So there you have it. Once again, very kind thank you to David for sending me one. Really nice pen that I've really enjoyed using, so thank you. Secondly, hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye.